Hello YouTubers, this is going to be another long one, so I'm sorry about that, but I hope you'll stick with it. As you'll see from the following clips that I've had the American friends over with me, and we really had a ball, and you should see some videos up on their individual channels to show how they've ruined the reputation of Grandad. And it happened to coincide with the visit of a television company for the BBC who are doing a program, and I think it might have been nice for them since they were included in the camera work with them, I suppose, as a way of showing how people can make friends on the internet and get together. It's going to be a program which is, no, I can't really tell you about that, but it's in relation to an event I went to recently, and I suppose just an explanation of why Grandad is so busy and can't put videos up every day. But a lot of my outside work is concerned with the Zimmers Band, and we have been and will be going all over the world, etc. But yes, that's great fun, yes, it's hard work, but there is a purpose behind the whole thing, and of course that is to get a message out there that old people have some value in this world, I suppose. It's possible we'll be going to China soon, which is a revisit of things we did with some Chinese pensioners who came over to London recently. So there's a lot to do. There's journeys down to London and wherever. I might be included in other parts of the world. So I won't go on about that anymore, except to point you to a link of the Zimmers Band. It's called the Zimmers Band Online. No, wait a minute. It's called the zimmersonline.com, and you can find out about everything we're doing on that. So that's it really. What was I going to say? So the other bit of the video that's coming up is a little interview I did with Huey. He's one eye blind, 30 I think his username is, where we talked about where we will be talking about trying to get more elderly people onto the internet. So I'd better shut up now and not make it too long. So I hope you'll have a look at it, and thank you for watching, and goodbye. Lovely day.
Yes, it is.
How are you enjoying your stay in England?
I love it.
Great.
I absolutely love it.
You were telling me a great story last night about how you got your mum onto the computer, the difficulties you had, and where she's at now. So tell me again.
Well, it was probably 4 or 5 years ago. We gave her, is everything okay? We gave her an old computer and set her up just playing solitaire on the computer so she could get the mouse, because that was her hardest part to learn, was the mouse. She would go and like wing that thing across, and the cursor, she would lose it, and then she'd get upset and have to find it again and bring it back down. So we let her play on solitaire for a couple weeks, and before, we didn't have no internet hooked up to it or anything like that. And then probably, I don't know, it was a couple weeks later, we set her up on dial-up internet, and she started learning email, and
I'm sorry.
She was on the computer for a couple weeks with just playing the solitaire.
Yeah.
And this was an old beat-up computer that only half ran.
Yeah.
And we put internet on it, and that back then it was just dial-up that was all available where she lived. And she found a website called pogo.com on her own to play games. And you just can't, that's her life now. And for my mom, the computer, she's disabled, and that is this is the first time she's ever had the chance to actually see things out in the world. She watches YouTube, watches you, watches me, Tommy, you know.
Yeah, right, great.
But you got to get her out of her game long enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes she gets upset if you want to talk to her.
Yeah, but that's great. So a whole new world's opened up to her. But I found that the difficulty is convincing more elderly people to get on it in the first
She was
place.
terrified. She was afraid to push the start, the on button on the
Yeah,
computer.
right,
She was
right.
terrified of it.
Yeah, so they do need help, and of course help's available in all sorts of forms, but if elderly people have got somebody in the family, a son, a grandson, if they would only be encouraged to help them, they could reach the point where your mum's reached now, and yeah.
Well, you saw this morning, it's 2:30 in the morning, back home, and she's still online.
Oh,
she's been up all
right.
night, My dad has told me, he's like, I've came out in there, they got the computer sitting up in the dining room. She's sitting there falling asleep. She'll be sound asleep. Her game's still going, and she's asleep. She's totally
Yeah, right.
into it.
So she's enjoying this new
Yes.
world that she's
Right.
found, and making friends and being able to contact with you when you're miles away, etc. And a lot of people think, oh God, this is going to cost me a fortune, but you don't need the bells and whistles of modern computers to start.
Yeah.
And I will guarantee that in every house as we upgrade, there's computers that will work quite well that can start somebody
For a
off.
starter
Yeah.
computer to get so you get your basics down.
Well, thanks, Huey. That will be very useful to hopefully try and encourage more people within families to help.
And she's made friends all just like we have all over the world.
Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. Great. Okay, Huey.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
Yes.
And as you say, have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.